Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. I'm glad to see you made it on over here this morning. And you're just in time. We've got to throw together some stuff and get a meal prepared for today and a couple of days in the following week. Now, what we're going to be preparing is an old recipe that my great-grandmother made. And of course, that was continued by my grandmother and my mother. They actually made it on New Year's Day because most of my family's from upstate New York and northern Pennsylvania, around the Bradford, PA area. And you might be familiar with it if you're up that way too. But with that said, let me show you what we got here and what we're putting together today. So, y'all, what we got here today and what we're going to be putting together is we're going to be putting together some sauerkraut with sausage and potatoes. And like I said, this is a traditional dish that my northern part of my family would have made on New Year's Day. Of course, they made it several times during the winter. Now that it's trying to be winter here in the deep south, I'm going to make it up today. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need some sauerkraut. Now you can use just regular shredded sauerkraut, something like this Vlasic right here, or like I'm going to be using today, I'm going to be using Bavarian Style Sauerkraut. Now, that's what my great-grandmother, grandmother, and mother used. Now, why is it different? Well, the best I can tell you is, and we'll just look here on the ingredients, is what it has in it is cabbage, water, sugar, salt, and caraway seeds. It's a sweet type of sauerkraut. Plus it's got caraway seeds in there for flavor. Now you can use, like I say, regular sauerkraut. Add some sugar and caraway seeds too. But we're going to use this right here. The silver floss, barrel cured. And then what you're going to need, of course, is some chicken stock. You're going to need some ground black pepper, bay leaves, and some mustard. Now I'm going to be using this coarse ground mustard. And this actually has horseradish in it. And this is a little bit of deviation that I do. That was not what my mother and grandmother would have done. They would have just used regular plain yellow mustard. But I like this, so I'll be using it today. You're also going to be needing some type of sausage. Here again, this is where I deviate a little bit from the traditional recipe of my family's. I'm going to be using some Kaneka sausage. And this actually is the cracked black pepper smoked sausage. Now back in the day, Mama would have used some Polish sausage or Kielbasa. Or like my great-grandmother and grandmother, they would have used some type of nice fine German sausage. Ain't no hope of finding that here in the deep south. You're going to need some fresh ingredients too. A couple of ribs of celery, anywhere from 4 to 6 potatoes, depending on the size, and that's your choice too. These happen to be some Yukon Gold. But you could use russet, like Mama did, or you could use red potatoes. It's all your choice. You're going to need some garlic, and you're going to need some carrots. And that's basically it. And now what we got to do, start getting this prepped up so we can add in to our crock pot. Yep. Gonna be all slapping this together in the crock pot today. So we can just leave it here cooking because we got other things to do. So stay tuned, folks. Now as always, when I'm using a crock pot, I like to preheat mine. So I'll go ahead and set it on high right there. And then what I'm going to be doing is adding in chicken broth. That way it can be getting all warm and toasty. While I'm getting my sausage prepared up and all my fresh ingredients like those potatoes, carrots, celery, and garlic. So there we go. We've added in that 32 ounces of a chicken stock. And we're going to let it sit there and be coming up to temperature while we're getting everything ready to dump on into it. So y'all, we have our crock pot heating up with chicken stock in it. Now what we're going to need to do is cut up our sausage. And I like to cut it up in little rounds. So when I'm eating this, everybody gets some sausage. So it ain't hard. And it really doesn't matter how thick you cut it. I cut it about 3/8 of an inch. See? That'll be fine. And then what I'm going to be doing with it is where the actual flavor comes out from this sausage. Yep. I just don't dump things straight in that crock pot. You gotta add some flavor to them. And there we go. We got that one all cut up. We're just going to put it over there on a paper plate for now. Let me get the rest of this cut on up, and I'll show you what we're going to do with it next. Now we finished up slicing up that sausage. And what we've done here is we brought our cast iron skillet up to temperature on medium heat. Got it nice and hot. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to dump in that smoked sausage. And you can probably hear it sizzling right now. And what we're going to want to do with this, we're going to want to put a little bit of browning on it. Because as you know, it's that browning that gives you the flavor. So we're just going to let this cook up in this cast iron skillet a little bit. Not going to cook it through. We're just going to let it brown up some. Okay? Now while that's all going on, I gotta get the rest of those fresh ingredients prepped up so we can be putting this all together in the crock pot. And they'll be fine right here. Oh yeah, I wish y'all could smell this sausage right now. Now I hope you're getting to see that browning taking place. This is starting to smell really, really fantastic. I could probably sit here and just eat the sausage and be happy. But I'm not. Because later on, I'll be enjoying the whole dish together with some of my fine cornbread too. So it'll be a mix of a northern dish with a deep south dish. Can't get no better than that. And we'll just let that keep right on browning there while we continue on with our onions, garlic, and potatoes, and celery. Oh, we got some nice browning coming on this sausage now. Rendering some of that there grease on out of it. So it'll be a touch more healthy. Now, the ladies in my family, they didn't do this step. They just cut up the old Polish sausage or kielbasa and dumped it on in the crock pot. Here again, this is something I do. A little bit different than what they did. You know, and I think that's what happens with recipes. With every generation, people may make additions and they may make a few slight changes. I just found out that browning my sausage, as well as browning any meat, just adds to the flavor profile. I guess I watched just too many cooking shows over the years. I do love cooking shows. We're going to let that brown off just a touch more. Turn some of those over that are looking a little bit pink on the one side. And we're going to be cutting the heat to this here in just a few minutes. And it can sit there and rest while we finish prepping the other veggies. And bring y'all over here. See, we got some browning on that right now. So I think that'll do. So I'm going to be sliding this off the heat. Just let them sit here and stay nice and toasty on the stove. And then we'll get everything slapped on in that crock pot. Well, we got that meat sitting there resting, and went ahead and got everything else prepared. What we did was we took those 6 potatoes. Some of them were small. That's like I say, you can use 4 to 6 depending on the size. And for the most part, we left them with the peel on and just peeled off the places that didn't look too fine. And then we chunked them up, anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to about 1 inch cubes. So here again, size doesn't really matter. And then we got that celery diced up. Got our garlic minced up. And I went ahead and went with 4 cloves because here again they were small. And we got the 1 medium onion diced up. Now I know I forgot to tell you about the onion when we're going through the ingredients. I do apologize for that. And we took a vegetable peeler, peeled up our carrots, and then we used it to slice us off some thin strips of carrot. Now, not sure how important the carrots are. Once upon a time I asked my mother about them because she always waited towards the end to dump them in there. Of course, that's what I do too. And the only thing she would say about it was, don't it make it look pretty? So there you have it. So I think it's more about looks than anything else. And we got our 2 cans of Bavarian Style Sauerkraut here ready to go. So we're just going to start dumping this on in the crock pot and get it to cooking. Of course, with our seasonings. So let's start adding in the ingredients. Ooh, that's all nice and heated up really good now. So I'm going to be putting in that meat first. That fine Connecticut sausage. We'll bring it on over here. Use this little strainer. Start dropping that in. Now if you want to pour some of that fine sausage grease on in there, you can do that too. Where I tell you something, you can use that sausage grease, save it, and use that to fry you up some amazing fried potatoes. Oh yeah. So, we got our sausage on in there. Next, we're just going to go ahead and dump on in those taters. And we're going to put on in that celery, onion, and minced garlic. all right on in there too. Now, remember, we're going to save the thin strips of carrots to about the last hour cooking. Or maybe even the last 30 minutes, because they're real thin. Not going to take long, so we're just going to set them to the side for now. And we'll take this old wooden spoon there. Start mixing this up a little bit before we dump on in the sauerkraut. Now this time, I'm going to pop me in one of these bay leaves. One will be just fine. And remember, fish that thing out before you serve it. And once it comes out like it did with me and the black-eyed peas, make sure you pick it out of your bowl. You don't want to be eating that. Next, what we're going to do is put us in a half teaspoon. And that's a level teaspoon of ground black pepper. Now I love pepper. If you don't, then don't put it in. Or you can put in less. That's your choice. Then what we're going to be putting on in there is some of this fine, coarse ground mustard, which just came out everywhere and made a horrendous mess. That's okay too. We're going to put us in, if we got enough, a heaping tablespoon. Like I say, this is coarse ground mustard with horseradish. Now if you don't think you might like that, then you can put you in just some regular yellow mustard, like my mama did. So I'm going to have to wash up where that mustard made a mess. And I'll be right back. So finally, we're going to pop in those 2 cans of Bavarian Style, and this is a shredded type of sauerkraut. Of course, I'm not sure that would make any difference whether it was shredded or chopped. This just happens to be shredded. And we did not drain it, which I will say, there was not a whole lot of juice in the can, as you can see. Here, not much. Well, Mama never drained it. Can't remember my grandmother's ever draining it. They just dumped it on in there. Now my grandmother Hines, she always made her own sauerkraut. And there we have it. All the ingredients are in the crock pot. Give it a little stir. Sort of blend things up from the bottom, which is going to be a little difficult since we got a fairly full crock pot here. But that's okay. We're going to get it on up in there, even if we got to make a mess. Now it will cook down. We're just going to get that on in there. Clean up the crock pot a little bit so we can get that lid back on there. Already starting to taste good. They say fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, pickles, cabbage, whatever. It's supposed to be so good for you. That being the case, this should be marvelous. Now the only thing to do is pop the lid on, and we're going to set it on low, and we're going to leave it. And there it's going to be for the next 8 hours. Now you can put it on high, come back and check it in about 4, see how your taters are. And I will probably check it after 6 hours, even on low, check my potatoes. At which time I'll probably go ahead and pop in the carrots at some point in time if the potatoes are already nice and tender. Because the sausage is pretty much cooked at this point. It was smoked and then it got a little bit more cooked in that frying pan when I was browning it. The sauerkraut, it really don't need no cooking. So basically all we're cooking in here is potatoes, celery, and onion. But I'll come back in 6 hours and give it a look over, see how the potatoes are doing. And if at that point in time they're looking pretty tender, I'll probably dump in those carrot shreds and give it another hour or so before I check it again. But at that time, I'll bring y'all back and I'll let you take a look at it. Well, y'all, through the magic of YouTube, it's been 7 hours. And we've had this kraut, sausage, and taters going on low here in the old crock pot. And I can tell you, it's smelling good. So what I want to do now is I want to check out these potatoes and see if they're fork tender. We got us one right here. We're just going to take that. Oh yeah. See how easily that fork slid right on in there? See, it's just breaking apart. So it's ready to add the carrot shavings in there. I got them over there on the plate. Like I say, it's mostly to add a little bit of color. And I probably should have shaved up some more because they were rather small carrots. But we're going to throw them in. We're going to let this go for about another hour. And then we're going to be coming back and dishing it up. So we'll just dump it on in there. It ain't too hard. And we're just going to add them on in there. And it's just going to give it a little bit of color, as you can see. Now, if you want more, you can shave more than 2 small carrots. We'll give it just a little quick stir. We're going to slap on the lid again. And we'll set the timer for an hour. And come on back. It should be ready to go and ready to bowl up and taste test. Well, it's been an hour. And this should be finished. Let's take a quick look at it. Yep. It smells good. Yeah, Trex, it does. Give it just a quick stir there. Now, this is the time when you'd want to give it a taste and see if you need to add anything. And what I'm talking about primarily is salt. Well, you may have noticed it when I was putting this together. I didn't add no salt. And there's a reason for that. First of all, the sauerkraut has salt in it. Secondly, the smoked sausage has salt in it. So I don't salt it prior to the end of cooking, where I'm going to taste it. Then at that time, if I think it needs a little bit more salt, I add it. And I would suggest that's the way you do it too. Now another thing you might want to do, and my mother liked it this way, even though this is supposedly a sweet sauerkraut, I'll be the first to tell you, it's not all that sweet. So what Mama would do is she'd add a little sugar in, sweeten it up some to her own taste. And if you'd like it to be a little bit sweeter, you can do that too. For me, I'm not much on that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dish this on up and give it a try. So, let's get us a nice big scoop here. And I've already got a bowl over here on this plate. Dump some on in there. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah. Grab some of those taters too. Those taters really good. We got some of that smoked sausage in there. We're gonna sneak a couple more of them out. And there you have it. Got us a nice bowl there. Got us a couple slices of homemade Southern style savory cornbread with a little pat of butter there melting on top. And I'll go ahead and get some green onions to go with it. Well, let me grab a fork, give it a taste test for y'all. Well, we got us a nice pork bowl there, include a little bit of everything. So let's put it in the old taste tester and see what it tastes like. Better blow on a little bit. Could be a little bit hot. Mmm. Woo! That is tasty. The sourness, that sauerkraut with the smokiness of that Kaneka sausage and the creaminess of those potatoes. This is hard to beat. It's hearty, it's going to be filling. It's just jam-packed, robust flavor. And we're going to enjoy it. A couple slices of our homemade cornbread. And some spring onions. We're going to head on in there with it. And watch a little bit of YouTube. So y'all, until I see you on the next video, y'all take care out there. Stay safe. God bless each and every one of you. Goodbye for now. Yep, it's time to eat. Finally. Took all day. Later, all. What, Trix? You want some too? You want some? You want me to get you a bowl or just pick out some of those smoked sausages for you? Okay, okay. You want some smoked sausage? Yep. I'll put them in your bowl. Okay. She's not happy. I haven't gave her none yet.